Sure, kuthi ngibheme kuthi nje kuningi, but this is another episode of Dlozi Chats, and I think today's topic is one that I can't get out of the way, and we need to have this conversation. So, asingene endabeni. Tagazani, I am Po Wabadimu, the advocate of Dlozi, and once again, I welcome you to my YouTube channel, and thank you so much for choosing to view this video. If you still haven't subscribed to the channel, I suggest you do so, and don't forget to click on the notification button so that you are notified every time there's new content on the channel. And to the new subscribers, welcome to Dlozi Chat, and to the returning Sabi, where we left.
You mention ancestors, you are then seen to be very primitive, very demonic. Why dream? Because ancestors communicate with us through dreams. And I've always said, when it is Joseph.
Today I want us to talk about religion versus ubungoma, or ubungoma versus religion, and in particular Christianity. I hate religion with passion, and it's no secret. I couldn't care what happens, especially Christianity. I give zero about it. You understand? I was a Christian for the longest time, and if anything, I'm happier than where I was prior to me finding myself. You understand? But the division between Black people, or other African people, will never end because of religion. And I have been there at one point thinking that I was having the pin codes to heaven and everything else in between. And I chose the path, or rather this path chose me, and that's it. And I've never looked back, if at all, kuthiwa lana lasikhona kunzima. And it's so sad that it is not other religions in a broader spectrum that will basically speak down on ubungoma. There are people like me on the social platforms that we have dedicated our life, or rather we are living in our purpose to teach and educate people for the betterment, or rather their understanding, when it comes to African spirituality. And because of the world, or rather has become so digital, we decided to move with the age, and that's why hence you find that now access to such things, especially about African spirituality, is available on all social platforms, to anyone's disposal, for their knowledge, for whatever it is they want to understand about spirituality. Gina 7 years in Twasile, and prior to that, it has been a longer period, me trying to discover myself. And within this space, I've had, to understand my belief from the background I come from, which is a religious background, and also understand my belief from where I stand today. But what really disheartens me, or rather shakes, or rather brings me to this feeling I have, is the amount of toxicity that we experience. Sangomophobia is a thing, guys. It is gonna be there. It is gonna continue to be there. I sometimes have to think that I'm raising kids. I'm raising 2 boys, and at some stage, ingane zami are gonna be subjected to some form of discrimination or profanity, depending on their environment, because bazalwa hisangoma. And I have also experienced sangomophobia in every length of my life, or rather every chapter of my life that you can imagine. The world, or rather, has made it so you know, so cool, or rather so okay for other people, or rather ngithini, abazalwane, to speak down on ubungoma, because they want to make themselves feel superior and make our belief feel inferior to whatever it is they chose to believe in. Remember, we are guarded by a constitution that says we have a right to believe. But why are we still subjected to this unfruitful debate of what is better, ubungoma or Christianity? I literally gave up teaching and telling people that, within our practice, we pray. Within our practice, because I felt we are preaching to a hypnotized generation, or rather a hypnotized mass, or rather a people under something or cult or whatever it is. Just like as much as there is a dark side to everything, there's also a dark side in Christianity. Are we gonna ignore the fact that abafundisi bayathwala? Are we gonna ignore the fact that abafundisi ba-rape iy'ngane emasontweni? Are we gonna ignore the fact that people are giving away their last monies to abafundisi? Are we gonna ignore the fact that people are holding on to hope, but baphila ka hope, but literally nothing is happening? I was serving under Christianity, mara until I decided not to find myself, and I've never looked back. Noma kungaze kube njani, I will still hold on to who I am, or rather my spiritual belief, because I understand the capacity or anything that happens around it. With anything, kunama shortcomings also nala ebungomeni. We've experienced izinto ezingcolile zenzakala khona lana ebungomeni. What makes Christianity purer than ubungoma? Or rather, what makes Christianity purer than African spirituality? When I said I was the advocate of Dlozi, I did not realize the magnitude, or rather the depth that this was. But I sit here today and I feel, Uguti, are we fighting and losing battle as true Banababadimu? Are we fighting? Because literally people are joking around by the testimony, by the sermon, but we should shy away from who we are so that we make other people feel comfortable. Literally, Dlozi have infiltrated so much when it comes to Bungaka. And that is why we are where we are. Remember, we come from a period of COVID where all of these people were enlightened, people were awakened. Nikitabile na personally. Sing maya ayakoma bitleng. Abantu abamnyama bakwazi ukuthi they take back their power, because around that time, amasonto bewangasebenzi. And like people had to choose, or rather it was either flight or fly. You understand? Or fly or fright, whatever it is, or fry or fryest. But the point of the matter is, people realize that you can exist without church. You can exist without a religion, but believing in yourself, believing in your higher power, mudimuahao or whatever. I'm not gonna take away anything from Christianity, but they're taking away so much from us. Don't feel updated alena amaka, because during the day but when the sun sets, you guys are inside the ndumba tsababangwe baberekelang dilo tsa gore lona le thuse le bena le batho le bena le matlhatsi le timedisa batho le re ba ska latela madlozi ba ska latela masigo a bona, because yeah but it is like, guys, it is too much. It is too much. Personally, nakifikile to the point of futek, like futek. Literally, believe in whatever you want to believe, but don't speak down on someone else's belief because you want to make yourself feel better. Already, us growing up, we live our whole life really the joke in our communities because rebana babadi. Ingulo ibhlungu. People that have been here will tell you. And the people that are in my shoes, or rather are walking the journey I am walking, will tell you gore o ka se ikgethele ntho e sona. It's not because e bohloko because ra sutleha, no. Bona re ja monate. But we have our own things going on, and that's okay. And it's got nothing to do with you. But I think in our openness, in our, trying to educate people, we have had so much of a shortcoming. Within also bungoma, bateng ba dlalang ka batho, portraying go ba digobela and all of this. Ganti motho is initiating you ko dilong tsa lefifi, dilo tse di biao. So because people have a or rather whatever the case might be, they think everybody's painted with the same brush. That's the same thing. That's not how I paint Christians in the same. It is not fair. I personally think it's not fair. How long should we hide away from this truth that we are being subjected to so much discrimination because of our beliefs, because of our spirituality, because of our freedom? Biblia lena do not judge. Biblia lena lona le tshwarang di bibele le tsamela di bibele di be di tshekile lona. But you are doing the same nonsense that your commandment says. If anyone is not going to heaven, kelona. If there is your heaven. I've never had anyone pass over. Are ashi Jesus what ka Lamborghini e white o fitlhile sa fitlhile ntate Jesus. Motho mongwe le mongwe o fetang o ondlulayo la emhlabeni o bona abantu bakibo. Askeni sibeni o bona abantu bakibo. We understand. I so want to go deep, so want to talk about this, but I'm exhausted when it comes to such conversations because they hurt, they trigger me. When I see people claiming to be famous or claiming fame, ka hore ba bue fatshe bongaka, ba bue fatshe dingaka. A ke re le lona le loele ntse le kereka ba loi ba tletse dikerekeng tsa lona di tletseng di tente le bitsa bo praise the Lord I receive. Mutagati o dutse hona mo. While le sa ithute ho ba open-minded, you want to be accepted but can't accept other people. This is a futile conversation, but sometimes I get so frustrated when I see the level of being attacked just because of the lack of understanding. Kunezinto eziseseyimfihlo kithi thina abahambi balendlela. Bungaka hasi ditawula. Bungaka hasi di beats. And for the fact that even with media, sangoma or you'll forever be subjected to joke. I don't want to lie. It is like that. The narrative put out there, the shows, if ubona sangoma TV, I mean, we got organizations, but the THO, the institution, but you will never hear those things being spoken about because they are not Christian, they are not carrying a Bible. You must always remember that within the calling or within all of these things, there's individuals. We are not animals. We say we are in a democratic country, but after surviving apartheid, we are suffering spiritual spiritual abuse, spiritual trauma, because in the same societies we should be welcomed in, we are being looked down on. Understand, mutomunsu sometimes is frustrating, but na bakare raka barengi I will always hold my head up high. Before everything, I'm a sangoma. And that's how it's gonna be. It will never change for nothing. Bakan raka barbamponi kiaperi full frontally ka thong kinametse lefielo. I don't care. Ngizobambelela. Ngabizwa ngasabela ngavuma. Isabelo sam. I'm walking my purpose. But people without direction, without badudes, go to podcasting. Hey, Sangoma is bad. Sangoma is bad. Is demonic. Sangoma. Tlohelang batho bao ba ready views. Mara. Kompang selina leng sona to bana ba badimo. I feel gore as really bana ba moya, really an African spiritual awakened generation, we need some form of a purge. All of these rats that are here, but what we stand for. I could count Bogogo on the platforms who are teaching, trying. You can go back from my first video. That was the purpose of this channel, to come here and teach. This is. So, khetha indlela yakho, ugcwale ngestori sakho. Ungazotshela omunye umuntu ongakaze awele azofika azokutshela into angayazi or azokutshela into ebhaliwe. You are quoting a book for me. You are quoting a novel, a story book. You are quoting a story book. Ow, woman. No, that's why I don't think I'll set foot in a church. I churched all my life. How na moke sayang ting? This is my longest stay. And a mokeling ting. If I retire, like I was gonna take that building and burn it, because I'm mokeling ting. I have peace. It was ling pete soft. We understand. But in a disappointer, with betting about sis between niyasihlukumeza. Sibuya kuma traumas wethu emaphehlweni, sibuye nizostraumatise. Nibuye nizoyenzani? Nidina ukuthi sibahle siyageza. Nidina ukuthi sinuka kamnandi sifaka amabhayi. Nidina ukuthi siphila ngcono. Sangoma sitsamaya ka mushini wami. Wena into ngane when I baba bitsa man ka prayer warrior wa pere you sieta sa se se fedileng. There are levels to this thing. So Oscar, because you have not found yourself ufitile mo wa fitileng teng ba o gila, and then una no gore Oscar babi hao, don't speak Oscar ungathuka amadlozi abanye abantwana, because umthelelo walento oyenzayo, it will catch up with you. Angithuki mzalwane. But ongithukayo nawe futhi nyalo ya kholo ya ngkhonwa hao. That's why usokola so upalwa lo gore o reke data o phela ka di Wi-Fi tsa batho, because I mean wantlhalahanya nalidlozi la ka lenjisa woolies. So what is your problem? It's just disappointing. Leave your comments down below. I think we need to expand on this conversation. When will this honestly end? When, like, bravery book or also are people feeling subjected or what? Even in the workplace, people are still, it's a lot. So before we moved on and forgot other things, I just wanted to come and debrief this conversation. But it's frustrating, it's angering when we look at how far we've come and where we're still going. But remember, but inja ayikhonkosi imoto emile ifuna lena ethi vuvuvu, then izoqala ibela. So ningabawoyi man, ningabawoyi. The fight is not over. We are not fighting against nkibera rakopana re lwantsha mimoya ya lefifi. No, we are fighting each other, and until libona, the war, I guess, will never be over. But now I picked my side and make it sharp. If mokeling tengi kwa satane, then go monate ga satane, go monate ga tloa bonang ga tloa re nonne gore ke lethabo le ha re motho like di sangoma eng lona le wesa le samela di bibele. The same Bible etshwereng Isaac, Meshach and Abednego bakae ya go kaofela mara le kgethola lo rona ni khethi phele emasini ya khethula because thina sincolile. Guning. That's why the certain laws that were put in place, that's why people were subjected. And also, don't turn our African spirituality into religion, guys. Galuk this is our liberation. This is our last strand of freedom. Other than that, people are colonized. Their beliefs are colonized. How they move is colonized. Everything. We are trying to break away from the norm. And that is where Gutala Ivuvai. So it's going to be a lot of things. So for myself, Ukogwama 2K, I'm like this. Rather hang out with the witch gang. Rather hang out with the dog gang. Because this side, how no stress. Listen, ha ke na stress so hore tlamele ke lo ntsha offering. Ha ke na stress so hore eng no. Oh, what le? No, I'd rather die rather than to die poor, believing in religion, believing in a white man, I'd rather die ke jamonate Dlozi le ntshwere self ke tsamaya ka stiletho ke tshwarele shobalaka ke ya if runara di heleng go thora I'm going to hell looking good as hell because I mean le sele lona le sela ba le jwetse le sela ba le jwetse le sele heaven uni sele bazalwane ni sele le sele bazalwane. But in the midst of all of that, bazalwane that are open-minded. To them, good for you. But keep on doing it. Because it is your freedom, what. But how could I remember who you are? You are Dlangamandla. And also remember so you didn't fall from the sky. You didn't fall from the sky. You came from your mother, who came from her mother, who came from her mothers. Mothers mothering mothers. The mother that mother their mother. Hey man, who ready joke? Got the beings arena. Maranatha. One day. These are the end days.
You mention ancestors, you are then seen to be very primitive, very demonic. Why dream? Because ancestors communicate with us through dreams. And I've always said, when it is Joseph...
If you're a Christian and you follow the 10 Commandments, do you even know where they come from? If you don't, I'll tell you. As I've always said, the Bible is a plagiarized document that was used to lure slaves into fear. Those which the
If you are a Christian and you say you don't do culture, there's a statement. I don't do culture. I do Jesus. But you go to church and then you do white culture. Then what's the difference? I don't do African weddings, but I want to do a white wedding.
Divine sign. This is the preeminent sign of the African spiritual high culture because it honors first of all the mother, the womb. It honors the father and the children that comes from the womb through the seed of the father.